Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and viewing these videos. I thought I'd make a short series of real-world practical tutorials on how I use Bluebeam as a quantity surveyor, rather than just keep extolling the virtues of this software that can do all these different types of things without actually showing you what it can do in the real world. Hopefully you'll get some practical tips from this. So in this scenario, I doing some evaluations for a bricklaying contractor who's doing some substructures, and generally what we do is he will send me a marked up drawing of the plots that he's completed, alongside some photos and any day works, what have you. But to get the basic measure ready for valuation purposes, I'll just walk you through how I do it, and you can see for yourself how practical and time-saving Bluebeam actually is. So this is generally what I would get from my client. As I say, he will send me a marked up drawing of the plot that he's completed, and he'll just annotate number of courses, anything else I need to know about leave downs, what have you. So I'm armed with all that information. What I'll then do is I will call up this actual drawing, which I believe is here, and we'll set about measuring this. As always, first steps, calibrate our drawing. And as always, check it's calibrated correctly. At 9.5, correct. And there you can see the 3.95 on the screen. So I know I'm going to measure from this legend that I've been provided with. I've already got the tool set up because I've done this valuation a few times before. So let's jump in. So I've got a 100mm block out of skin. I'll just waffle on now. I'm going to take this 215 garage blockwork as 200mm skins, because from the photograph that's how it's been built. Oops. Control Z will undo the last if you go wrong. Continue on. We'll disregard this plinth just for brevity in this video. There I have my blockwork perimeter, and looking back at my notes, I've got 3 quarters of blockwork externally. So I can just go ahead and put my height directly in there, and as you see, the way I've got my column set up, Bluebeam's automatically extended it for me. Next thing I'll measure is my blockwork inner skin. It's worth just reminding you that I've got the snap to markup enabled, and the icon set to 1 full page so that it scrolls in both directions as you're scrolling. So my 100mm blockwork inner skin. And again, I can just plug my height straight in. And again, I know from my notes I've only got 2 courses of internals, so that would be 0.45. Incidentally, if you have these columns set up as special columns, which I've shown you how to do in other tutorials, they'll appear in here and you can actually input the height directly into there as well, which is handy because if you have multiple lines you can select them all and extend them all in one go rather than individually. But I'll show you both approaches hopefully in this video, or if not in another video. What else do I need to measure here? So I'll just crack on and get the rest of this measured. I'll need to measure these internals. So we have a 9-inch wall comprising 200mm skins tied. We have one there, we have one there, and we have one there. And you can see I have the 3 corresponding entries there. So if I highlight all 3 of those by holding the shift key, I can just go down to my custom column. And these are 0.45 high, and it will extend them all at the same time as I explained. What else do we have? This cavity wall here, which I shall measure separately as part of the 100mm block here. It'll be the same rate. And we have a 140 partition here. Only other thing I need to measure is there's a split course on all of these internal walls. So if I measure the 140 split on here, and then I measure the 100mm split everywhere else, including on those 215 walls. Around the perimeter. Both sides of the 215. And the only other thing I need to do is to count the underfloor vents. So we have a tool set as a count tool. So if I go around the perimeter and just count my vents, I have the internal vents separated out as well. Now all of these will have a plank lintel. even internally, there'll be a plank lint on both sides. See there, we've got service lintels as well. Grab those in a sec. And it looks like we've got 2 of those. As I say, I didn't bother measuring the plinth in this exercise just for brevity. So that's everything we need to take. So just to complete this exercise, if we go down into the markups list, we continue with plugging in our heights. You'll notice if I highlight a particular entry in the markups list, the corresponding line on screen will highlight with these nodes, so you can identify what one is what. So we know that's an internal, it's 0.45. Again, that's an internal, it's 0.45. Calibration line, it's just a number, so we're just going to extend that by 1 just for tidiness. So pretty much everything is measured. Handy feature of Bluebeam also is you can, if you're sending this drawing over to your to the other surveyor, you can grab hold of all the markups once they're all highlighted, get in on one, right click and click on legend, create new legend, and you'll see that it's appended a ready-made legend to the cursor. I'm going to drag and drop it, and this is quite customizable also. You can actually go in and you can edit the columns on here and tell it what columns you want to see in that list. So we'll stick in, what have we got? We've got the measurement, we've got the breadth, the times in, the sum. I might be overdoing it here, but it's just an example. And I've overdone it a little bit, but you get the point. It's a handy way of marking up what you need. But what do we do next? We need to get this out into a spreadsheet, and as I've shown you before, we come down to the markups list menu, and there's an icon here. It gives you a summary option. If we click on the summary, we want the CSV summary, and we want to tell it where to save our output. We just want the markups and the totals, column headers. Name the file. And here you'll see your outputs. Just going to save that. We've created a little tool that assists with the tidying up of these. If anybody's interested in it, just email me and I'll see if I can get you a copy. But it'll only work if you use the columns in the same way that I do. But they're quite easy to have customized. So let me show you the next step. I'll just browse for it. Back in a sec. So we had a macro created that would assist with tidying up these CSV files. This is it. Basically, you just click on convert, you browse to the file you want to convert, which we've saved as desktop. Now you see that it's tidied up the file nicely for us to import into our valuation template. It just requires a little bit further tidying. And I've explained the anatomy of how this output works, but there you have all your quants output. We don't actually need these calibration lines, let's just get those out. But everything else is in there, and you can go on to further manipulate that in whichever way you see fit. So I hope that's been helpful and gives you an idea of how you can use Bluebeam practically, and I'll do a few more of these in other scenarios so you can see a little bit more about how I use Bluebeam for taking off, for valuations in general, you know, and you'll pick up tips on speedy annotation and how to incorporate your deducts on plan, that kind of thing. So hopefully see you in the next video.